Hello, and this is Stephen Mooney. I'm here to talk to you about one of our proud sponsors on the 4i Radio Network. They are called America Joy Print Shop. If you're looking to do business cards, flyers, posters, banners, cut vinyl, car wraps, and more, then definitely check out AmericaJoy.com for more information. And tell them the Fern sent you.
You are listening to the Arcade Brothers only on the 4i Radio Network, The Fern.
Hello and welcome to a brand new episode of the Arcade Bros. I am Player 1, Steve-O, of course, with my co-host Player 2,
Kyle.
And this is episode number 71. We're getting up there. Of course, you can find us at arcade-bros.com, part of the 4i Radio Network, The Fern. For more information, visit 4iradio.com. To listen to our shows, you can find us on 4iradio.com, Spreaker, iTunes, Stitcher, Zune Marketplace, BlackBerry Podcast, Directory,
Twitter directory,
Blueberry Podcast Directory, Miro Guide, Double Twist, YouTube, Swell Radio, SoundCloud, and Player FM. We are brought to you, of course, by America Joy Print Shop, the official sponsors of the 4i Radio Network. Business cards, flyers, posters, banners, cut vinyls, car wraps, and more. Visit AmericaJoy.com for more information and tell them the Fern sent you. Also, don't forget, Raven Designs illustrates and designs that fit your personality. For samples and inquirers, visit ravencruise.com. Before we get into our normal segments of the week, Kyle, we have some shout-outs this week. You want to give them a...
You got it. Yeah. We have at Kevin Pybus. We have at Chinbeard. At Bernie_says.
Yarg, Chinbeard.
Says so. Yeah, Chinbeard's pretty cool. I was like, oh, that's a great handle. Who would never thought of Chinbeard before? At Ranger Command PH. New show on the 4i Radio Network. At Flufferfish. At Victor Lid Holt, at Snut Design or Snooty Design, and then at Super Droid Radio. Thank you all for your recent follows and or tweets.
I don't know if you heard about this. Apparently, the old radio network that we used to be with, they have called it quits.
Oh, really? They're done?
They packed it up and they said no more. So we just want to say. I actually want to say thank you to them beforehand because they did give us an opportunity when we first started out to give us a chance, and then we went on.
Now, was that Cazador?
Yes.
So Cazador Radio is no longer doing any programs?
Doing it anymore. I guess they decided to call it quits. It happens,
Hey, I mean, yeah, best part about being on the podcasting, one is that there's so many out there and they've had so many years of experience that they could probably go anywhere with it.
Yeah,
they could decide to pick it back up later, do their own thing. Well, I wish them all the best because I knew Gregory Darkside Holmes. We actually went to school with him.
Oh yeah.
So he was in our program too, the Game Art and Design. So obviously. I've heard a couple of their shows recently, like Comic Chaos and stuff. They had some really good shows.
Yeah.
Hope to hear back from them. Hope to see maybe out at Comic-Con or something else, catch up.
Yeah, that'd be cool. So it's just, I guess I know one person, I think they have stuff going on in their personal life, I assume, and then the other one, he just wants to focus on his filmmaking career. So
and that happens.
It happens. So
yeah, you kind of gotta...
I did want to just branch out and say, thank you guys for giving us at least, you gave us about 6 months on your network for a bit when we first started our first podcast and got us a feel. Actually, if it wasn't for them, we probably would have never started our
right, because you would have had no clue where
you were going. To do anything. So I do want to thank them. So, and best of luck to them. Really, it's like nothing, no bad blood and everything like that. So
exactly.
But,
wish you all the best.
Kyle, of course, I know this is the first. I'm surprised. This is the first time this week Kyle has not have Skyrim in his notes of what he's been playing this week. No. Kyle, what have you been playing this week?
I've actually been really addicted to the Pikmin 3 for the Wii U.
Now, Kyle, this is the funny part. Kyle, with all the different video games that are out there, anytime, as soon as GameCube came out and this game Pikmin was developed, Kyle has just been hooked on these games.
Oh, yeah. For whatever reason, when we went to play it at that, we used to do the Nintendo Club,
yes.
the GameCube Club. We went down there, and every year they'd had the Pikmin or Pikmin 2. And that was the game that I was drawn to. I liked it a lot because obviously it's an original Miyamoto game, Shigeru Miyamoto. And what I love about it is just the simplicity, and that you actually feel like there's actually what I like about this version of Pikmin 3 is you can branch off, so you can actually have like 3 or 4 things going at once. And as long as all the Pikmin are either within your group or around the base, you're fine. Like, you don't have to worry about like, oh, there's one hiding around somewhere. And what I really liked about it was like, I leave the woman sometimes there, she starts picking them for me. I then send her to a place and they start breaking down a wall while I'm doing something else, and then they let you know like, hey, what's going on. Strategy wise, it's really cool because there's some parts where we went back into this area and I noticed there was this little ledge. So I said, I wonder what we could do there. So I started just launching Pikmin, and I forgot that you could throw your characters as well.
Oh, yeah, that's
So
right.
I picked her up, and I threw her, so she got up on this ledge. I had her gather all the Pikmin. I sent him back to the place to go start picking Pikmin.
Now, question...
And then we weren't further, and sure enough, it was like a hidden area. We had no clue, like, I had no idea this area was up
for
here.
you, do you have a Wiimote and Nunchuck?
I don't have the Wiimote and Nunchuck, but I did see that Best Buy had a special right now. You could get a Wiimote, and I think it was either Nintendo Land or one of the Mario games. It's like a Mario Wiimote.
Yeah, they have a Mario and Luigi
one. You can get that in a game for $39.
If you wanted to, because your new Wii U plays Wii games,
That's true.
You could actually pick up Pikmin 1 and 2. I believe it's a combo pack for the Wii, which I actually thought about picking up, but I was like, well, I want to get Pikmin 3 first, and then if I want to.
And that's kind of what I'm waiting for too, because I would like to get the combo pack. I did beat Pikmin 1 and I loved it.
Yeah, me
Pikmin 2, I played decent portion.
I never played Pikmin 2, but that was the first time they developed co-op with it.
It was co-op, and the thing that I thought was weird was they took away the time frame, because what you could do is in Pikmin 2 is all of a sudden you're like, oh shit, it's like midday. You go underground, and then the time stops when you're underground. So, and the aspect of like playability, it made sense, but then like I spent like almost 3 or 4 hours underground. Well, what I like about Pikmin is you're playing, and it does do the same thing where sometimes you go inside something and like time stops while you're in there.
Mm-hmm.
But what I like is those areas are a lot smaller, so you don't have to worry about like, I spent like 6 hours in here, now I'm late to work and I'm gonna get fired. Like, that's why I like about Pikmin, is because it's short maps.
You've been getting fired from work now because of
all the time.
Pikmin is the worst thing for Kyle.
Pikmin 3.
I know Kyle's like Kyle's gonna go to like he's like, do you have I'm addicted to heroin, I'm addicted to crack, I'm addicted to Pikmin.
I just start whistling.
Yeah. Now, a question for you. Now, do you like playing as Olimar in the Smash Bros. Games? I
haven't really touched him as much. I know he's there, and I like the concept of him, but I never actually focused on him.
I know he was just introduced in Smash Bros. Brawl, and then I know he is coming back, I believe, in the new one, which is weird.
I think he's a cool character.
This is the first one that they're not really. I think they might just be calling it Smash Bros. Because they haven't given it like a tag.
A title or
the first
Melee.
one was just called Smash Bros. And the second one was called Melee, and then the third one was called Brawl. And this is the first one. And the funny part is they haven't even talked about if they're doing like a huge story mode again, like they did in Brawl, which was like a huge, amazing like that was really fun about that and unlocking the characters through that way. But they have, of course, introduced a new character that's going to be playable. It's going to be Diddy Kong. Has shown up, as well as Little Mac. I think was also introduced last week as well. I know we touched upon that.
And speaking of which, you were playing a new game this week that we actually just got done playing.
Yeah, Kyle, I sat down. Donkey Kong Country Returns Tropic Freeze was just released on Friday. Jumped on it. I have to first off say graphics are beautiful. The HD on that. Played a lot of the single player. Not too far. I think I'm on like almost to the second level boss. Levels are really in depth, really like well done, put together. I mean, literally you're just side scrolling, but you see like all this background detail that's just like ridiculous. Kyle and I sat down and played. It was actually a lot more enjoyable because Kyle and I tried to play Donkey Kong Country Return for the Wii 2-player mode, and what I like about this one is there's not so much movement with because you basically could use basic controllers with this game, and you don't have to sit there and do this whole like, I gotta shake the remote. That was the biggest problem I had with the first Donkey Kong Country Returns game for the Wii. There was just so much motion with just like, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that. This one, they simplified it. They basically took the concept of when they transferred Donkey Kong Country Returns 3D to the 3DS. There was no really shaking involved or anything like that. You just kind of like played your game, grabbed the barrel. So cool part about the game, you can use a Wiimote, you could use a Wiimote and a nunchuck, you could use the Pro Controller, you can use the gamepad and everything like that. So cool part is Kyle and I were playing. Now, if you play the second player, you have the choice of picking between Diddy Kong and Dixie Kong, and I had no idea he was a playable character, but you could also pick Cranky Kong is a character you can play as well. So the game's really fun. Kyle and I had a blast. What do you think? Do you think it's
surprisingly, yeah, the controls I felt were really easy to pick up, like after dying a million times, because it's fun to do and annoy Steve, but it's actually really intuitive once you start realizing like, oh, it makes sense, this to grapple, this to jump, this to run. And what I like about it too is like I get distracted because there's a lot that goes on in the backgrounds and stuff, and you're kind of wanting to watch everything. But I felt like the game has a good pacing. There's a good animation where instead of just like a standard platform where it's just like jump, go, bank, it's like things collapse, things break, things grow and shrink, and like it's really fun. Like I thought it was very intuitive.
Yeah, even the details with like the bad guys, even the cool part with bad guys, like you'll see normal penguins, and you'll see like penguins with like Viking hats on.
The penguin.
You have penguins that have just helmets on, and then when you hit them, they flip over, and you can pick them up and use them as like weapons. They even have a penguin that shoots like fish at you, like an archer. So a whole lot. We played our first boss battle, which was kind of unique too. It was we played against the
Sonny the Seal.
Yeah, the
thought
seal.
He was real. For $49.95, he's a deal. It's Sonny.
What?
That's from Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. That's like when Carlton was like, they wanted to celebrate Will's birthday, and instead he went off and went to this party with some friends. And they're like, where were you, dude? Like, we got you all the stuff. And so Carlisle was all like, and I bought you that cake, not just any cake, Sonny the Seal. The one on TV? And he starts singing the jingle, and he starts going like nuts.
I thought you were about to go with like, I'll get you, Stinky Pete. Cha-cha-cha-cha.
Well, the other way you could do is the Morgan Freeman with him being like, I couldn't believe all the violence with all the penguins.
That too, but so of course Kyle and I sat down and played that. I've been playing again Megaman 3. I trying to figure out like what is going on with this game. It's like every time I play it, it's like I beat like 3 bosses so far, and then the rest of the levels is just all like I can barely get through the levels because it's just like what the hell is going on with this?
Why are they so complicated? Or
and then Pat actually came over yesterday. We recorded All White Tukey, and then we sat down and we played the Aliens vs Predator arcade game.
Nice.
That is a part of the Emulator arcade pack. And Pat, like I played it for a little bit, and Pat and I were playing it, and it was actually really enjoyable. Like we were having fun playing, like kind of old school, going back to stuff. Even we were playing Narc for a little bit.
Oh, nice.
Which was fun. So it was kind of cool with this like nostalgia feeling going like. And then Pat like it's funny because Pat like remembers like half of these games in the arcade, and like I don't. And then he's been like so out of touch with video games, so it's just kind of funny
to see him kind of come back into it and be like,
but we were having fun. We were just playing. Like he picked a Predator, I picked another one, like one of the humans or whatnot. And it was just funny because then we were dying laughing because there's a part where like the Marines show up and they start fighting you guys for whatever reason. But then it's like there's these Marines that have like guns, and then the Marines that just have knives that are coming at you, and you're just all like,
we ran out of money.
Yeah, that's what Pat and I were joking about. We were just all like, okay,
but we're still fierce warriors.
But yeah, so a lot of good stuff. I did.
Yeah, I remember that game too because you had it for, was it a Super Nintendo?
No, actually, that was just the normal Predator.
Okay,
game.
that was just Predator.
This was like an actual game. It was by Capcom. It was in the arcade originally. You could pick up to like 4 characters, so there's 2 Predators and 2 humans. But yeah, it was one of these games that like I don't even remember it being in the arcade, so it was just odd because that's what I was doing when I was going through like different arcade games that I knew I could like download. Like there's the Captain America and the Avengers arcade game. There's the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle one. So there's all these different ones that you can play, which is just like fantastic. But I also forgot I played a little bit more of Fable Anniversary. I got fed up with that game because I got to a part where your rival, the one chick person, it's like you're Gary from Pokemon, but she's all like, let's have a competition, and we have to see who could kill the most hobs, those little like things. So I'm like, that's fine. So I'm wailing on these things. It's taking forever because it's like the beginning of the game or whatnot, and every time I go to kill one, she runs in, hits it, and gets the kill for it. I'm like, are you freaking kidding? So I was just like, I'm done with you. So I took a break from that. I'm probably gonna go back to playing some Devil May Cry. I even remembered some other games I still need to beat, such as the Gears of War, Judgment, Halo 4. We still have our Borderlands, Dead Island. There's so many things we got to just sit down and try to play.
Sit down and get through them all.
But I will talk about this. So our character spotlight this week, I had the joy of picking them this week because I finally sat down and did stuff. So the character spotlight this week is Tingles. Now, if you don't know who Tingle is, he is the character from basically the Legend of Zelda series. He's the game he pretty much premiered in was Majora's Mask.
And if you want, before we start, I googled it real quick because I wanted to kind of get some Wikipedia notes, maybe get into the mindset of the creators and the epicness of this character. Definition of Tingle: experience or cause to experience a slight prickling or stinging sensation.
Well, I did, of course, went to the Zelda wiki. They got some Tingle information. This is some little bit. So he was most famous for Majora's Mask. Tingles made his first appearance in the Majora's Mask. He was wearing green tights and accented with red, and appearances in various of the Legend of Zelda games so far. He helps out, usually in bizarre ways. He is a talented map maker. His catchphrase is the supposed magic words, Klu, Lu, Limpa. Hyphenated, that's a weird whatever. In Majora's Mask, he states that he invented these words himself and asked Link not to steal them.
Yeah.
He appears.
Don't take my
He appearances
stuff.
believed by some of the base of the Koji Koda, Nintendo's lead composer. So he was the one who they based him on basically.
Oh, really? It was based on the guy who actually composed a lot
Like some of their music.
Nice.
So, but picking up his thing, he's also was featured in Oracle of Ages, Wind Waker. He actually played a big role in Wind Waker. He was the one that you had actually to go to him, and he would figure out your maps and stuff like that. And
Yeah, wasn't he the guy who first gives you the camera in Wind Waker? 'Cause,
Yes.
you find him in
you
that
find him
area,
in the
he,
lockup.
crops out.
But he was able to.
That was my favorite part because you get to that first island and you find this room and you kind of break in.
Yeah.
And he just kind of waddles out like.
Ooh, hello. But yeah, he was a big part in that. You would have to go find his island.
I remember that.
And then you would give him maps and he would help you find Triforce pieces.
Yeah, exactly.
Basically,
he was a huge help in that part.
He was
'cause
also
I remember how I was just like, what
because you needed him just for that. So it's
Yeah.
at least he played an important part. He was also in Four Swords Adventure. He was in the Minish Cap.
Yes.
He also was in Tingles Balloon Fight DS.
Oh,
He was
man.
also non-canon appearances. He was in Super Smash Bros. Melee and Super Smash Bros. Brawl, trophies and stickers. Then there's also been just a bunch of other stuff. Now there's a couple of pictures of him from the original. So there's the original N64 version, which just looks like, what happened? Then there's him from the Wind Waker one, the Minish Cap, and then there was actually he wasn't in actually the last two Zelda games. What was it? Legend of Zelda and the Twilight Princess and Legend of Zelda Skyward Sword. But however, there was a huge guy, buff guy that was dressed as Tingles in Twilight Princess when you had to go do some competition. I think it was either to get more arrows for your quiver or I think a heart piece or whatnot.
But he's really ripped.
But yeah, he's
and
this
huge.
really big riff guy, and then when he talks, he's like, yeah, I don't know, I saw this guy and he kind of inspired me, so it was kind of like a callback to Tingles in that. So I don't know if Tingles is ever going to become a playable character in Smash Bros, or if he's going to become a trophy that you can throw out as an item.
Nice.
I don't know if Tingles is going to make any more appearances in any upcoming Zelda games. I have a feeling he might. I'm trying to think if he made appearance in the newest Zelda game. I don't think he did. Which is the Link Between Worlds. But yeah, so that's my character spotlight. Kyle, what was your fondest moments of this weird, crazy character? Oh no, wait, that was the beekeeper guy. Never mind.
The bee. Oh yeah, the bee.
There was a bee guy, and that's what I thought. And I was like, the guy's like, I need bees, and I was like, you're creepy.
Yeah, that guy was pretty sick in the head. Yeah, now I'm looking at that Beekeeper Zelda. I don't know. I think my favorite moment was that one with the like I was talking about him in the oh my god, the Beekeeper's creepy. My favorite one was the one with Wind Waker when because I was kind of like, oh, I wonder if Tingles is gonna be back. Because Wind Waker, I remember when it first came out and got launched at E3, everyone gave it crap. For it.
Everyone was pissed.
We're like, what that? Because
we
we were expecting we kept seeing all this footage.
Yeah,
of,
we kept
what it
seeing
could
all
be.
these steal shots of
and it
Link.
was the one right after Majora's and all.
Yeah, it was the
those,
one
so.
right after Majora's Mask. And then the funny part is as soon as more and more trailers came out for that game, I fell in love with it. I was like, this is actually the only problem I ever had with Wind Waker, and everybody feels my same thing. It was just way too short.
Yeah, I think my favorite part is when you get the Tingle tuner, and it's basically if you get stuck, it's a quick hint. It's your way to be hey, but it looked like a DS.
Yes, that's
or
right.
Game Boy Advance, I think is what it was. But yeah, it looked like how the DS, the thick DS, and then just how his pose is yes, here you are,
My favorite part is when you shoot him down from the balloons.
Yeah, and
then he just goes because it looks like he breaks his legs, and then his little because I think Tingles thought he was a fairy, wasn't he?
Yeah, he wanted to. I think what it was is his outfit was based on the Deku forest,
the Deku tribe,
and he liked the Deku tribe a lot, so he was trying to be like them, but he wasn't. He was just a normal guy, but he loved the idea. That's why his costume looks like it's pointy ears and this and that, so he was trying to be more like them. But I think also a good one I see is Kalu Limpa, and someone did it in Minecraft.
Oh yeah,
they've actually made a Tingles in Minecraft. It actually looks
okay, we'll post that when the show goes
fun.
up then.
But yeah, that was one of my fondest moments with him in the Wind Waker, because it was just it was such a good callback to be oh yeah, I remember him, how much fun he was. And, because even in when I met him in Majora's, like you were kind of at first like, what the heck?
Yeah, I remember at first I was like, I hate this character.
But then like as you got to like see him more and more, you're like, oh, this guy's pretty fun. So
yeah, so it's a good character. I think it was actually one of the first. That was like I want to say one of the first new characters that we've seen in a Zelda game in quite some time, because literally
usually
they just kind of kept to the
couple
same
main
names. And
yeah,
stuff
that's
like
why I kind of noticed is like with Wind Waker, when you finally started getting, or with Zelda in general, when you finally got into like an open world, you finally got to see more of the Zoras, the Gorons.
Yeah, Zorons.
You got to see more of like Epona and like these characters, and so I think like they've just kept building on it. So now you're having these worlds of
that's
like, oh my goodness.
I'm super excited, and I really hope they do it. I really hope they make it a online fun game. You can switch back and forth to different characters, but that new Legend of Zelda game that's coming out, that's by the same people who did like the Dynasty Warriors and stuff like that. I can't wait for that. I think that's going to be a huge push, because this is like the first Zelda game that's not part of canon.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's going to be kind of different to see. And it's also kind of surprising that Nintendo is letting another company kind of touch Legend of Zelda. The only time they've ever done that was with Capcom.
Oh yeah.
And Capcom, really all they did was make kind of like a mini game to be attached to one of their already like big games, and then it wasn't until later that they were like, here you go, you can do a Four Swords kind of game with it. So speaking of which, if you guys had a 3DS and you did not get the chance to download the free version of, basically get the game for free, of the Four Swords, then you missed out, people.
Exactly. What's really cool too is there's been a lot of pushes lately with the Lego community. They're trying to get like all these Legos made. Well, there's one, if you went to the Toy Expo that just happened this week, and if you look up Nintendo toys, like they have a lot of Smash Brothers toys coming out. The Ganondorf and the Link look phenomenal. Like they have swords. The sword actually like sheathes in the thing. He's got like a really good look. Well, some guy is actually working on like concept art for possible like a Zelda Lego game, and it's really cool because even Navi the fairy is just like one of those round pieces.
Oh yeah.
With the wings attached to the back, so it's like really cool.
I actually saw that people wanted to see. They said I'm trying to remember where I posted.
Yeah, it was like a Legend of Zelda set. It was the thing that got voted this time was the Ghostbusters set. Yes. But then it was like the Bat set, then it was like the Zelda, there was even our archaeologist set.
I would like to see Legend of Zelda Lego set. I think that would be phenomenal.
So
plus you could have so many characters, just to see how like some of these characters would be put together, especially like the Tingles. Tingles would probably be kind of like the Hobbits, where they have the smaller legs.
Yeah, exactly.
You'd probably get a great pull. I would love to see, what's her face, the Twilight Princess, her little form or whatnot in a Lego. Ganon, especially just Ganondorf being in normal Lego form, and then making him the huge like kind of. I mean, there's so many things you could do with it. So
because like his dark magic could be what builds him to be the big behemoth and stuff.
All this kind of stuff. So that'd be kind of really cool to see.
But the toys look really good. They look really detailed, and obviously, like you can see, kind of get a glimpse of future movies coming out. Obviously, like Godzilla, they had the new poster where you can actually see the figure that you can get, the new Godzilla, what he looks like. They have a picture of him.
Yeah, the poster was just released for that too, so I'm excited for that.
And I said of games in the works too, like King of Monsters are going to be doing that again with where you play as Godzilla and have to take out some monsters.
Cool,
so
yeah.
Pretty much see. I'm not sure if it'll be more of like an arcade game, like a fighting game, or if it'll be more like 3D and what. So we will find out. But yeah, I definitely like it. I like Tingles' character, and I know the big news that hit this week, which was surprising, took a lot of people off guard, was Irrational Games, the makers of BioShock. They've actually closed down, and the creator has actually scaled down the team to only about a handful of people. Luckily, good news is what we like about the gaming community is a lot of the people who had worked there have already gotten work somewhere else.
Yes.
A lot of game companies open their doors and were like, come work for us. We'd obviously love to have you. But whatever reason, creator Ken Levine decided to say, he wants to move to a smaller team. He's working on more narrative-heavy games where it's more based on storyline and things like this, as opposed to, maybe more action, which is what those games kind of became.
Yeah, so basically what we're probably going to get from this is the last couple of DLCs from BioShock Infinite.
Yeah.
And then I still have to finish the one that came out for it, the first one, and the second one I think is due out sometime this year. Of the DLC where you go back to Rapture. So
what I love though is like all the comments underneath, people were like, whoa, they were surprised because they thought like, did BioShock not do well?
Yeah.
Now the game itself sold for about $60 a pop.
Yes.
And it sold over 3.7 million copies. So they did just fine.
They did just fine.
They did very well. They said it cost them about $1 million to $2 million to make. So they definitely not only broke even, but they actually made a profit. But one of the comments was, why? Like, why did BioShock not do well? And the comment below had said, there is no why. They're irrational. So a lot of people were like calling him out, saying that the guy was selfish and being like, a thing. But it's his company.
Okay, I don't know what this guy's talking about. So the guy right below the one that just said that, he goes, "No one liked BioShock. It was a flop series. I never liked it because it was just another Call of Duty, but with a steampunk horror aspect. People need to realize that we need varieties in this world. I'm not surprised."
BioShock came out well before the Call of Duty got popular. Because Call of Duty was out for ever.
Call of Duty was out forever. Now, you're trying to tell me that it's just a ripoff of Call of Duty. Last time I checked, Call of Duty didn't have an aspect of any kind of magic or anything like that. It took place in a really cool time period. You took place in a fictional world. So I don't know what he's talking about.
Again, I'm probably just comparing shooter to shooter, and you can't do that. Call of Duty is a shooter where you have a gun and you shoot people. And BioShock was strategy.
Yes, BioShock was
leveling up.
BioShock was what Borderlands is. It's like a first-person RPG because there was leveling up.
Yeah.
There was putting things
together. You had
to
upgrade your weaponry,
weapons, all that
this.
kind of stuff. So I hate when people do this. Like, don't get me wrong, I like Call of Duty.
What I like about Call of Duty, you can walk into anywhere and blow people up. You can just shoot everybody. If you have a bazooka, you can use it all the time and kill everything.
Yes.
Whereas in this game, if you used a bazooka a lot of times, then the creatures in the game would actually know where you were, and then they would be like a bigger firefight and more trouble. So you had to learn to hack things. You had to learn to program and do things.
It's a strategy game, and that's the thing I hate. Okay, you can't. That'd be like comparing. The only way I could see you comparing Call of Duty to another game is maybe Halo. Because Halo is kind of like a military-based game. You fight aliens and stuff like that. Corridor shooter, kind of like the same thing, except Halo gives you a little bit of a niche because you have the vehicle base. Right. You do have vehicles in Call of Duty, but they're not
still first person.
But it's not as elaborate as when you play the vehicles in the Halo game. So,
because the vehicles in Halo are 3D, like you're in third person, you can see around you. Where you're still in the boat and stuff in like Call of Duty, you're just looking straight ahead. There's no way for you to be like, can I zoom out here and see what's around me?
This guy put, so why the BioShock didn't sell? Funny, this is why it was free on PlayStation Plus. But
a lot of people were just kind of taken back. But I guess the BLCs could due to come out, and it has come out, and then
you know what? Fuck this guy. I'm calling him out. So Christopher Pitcher, you're an idiot. Yeah. Okay. You can't compare Call of Duty to BioShock. It's first off, if it was such a flop series, then how come they've had about DLCs, 3 games name and a bunch of DLCs,
plenty of cosplay.
And I hate to break it to you, but we did kind of see a line for that game.
Yeah, we never saw a line for Call of Duty.
Oh yeah, Call of Duty Ghost. When that came out, that was a horrible thing.
No, what's outsold Call of Duty Ghost was the Mario 3.
Yeah, there was more people in line for Mario 3D World than there was for the Call of Duty Ghost.
So sorry to say. And because what was Call of Duty Ghost was a copy of Call of Duty. Yes. This Call of Duty, this Call of Duty. It's like it's been the same game.
Yeah, it is the same game.
Weaponry,
okay. I got into Modern Warfare. That was my first Call of Duty game. Okay,
and World at War was mine by mistake.
It was a really good game. That's the thing. Out of all the games that I played so far, Call of Duty, my favorite one is World at War, which everybody hates. Everybody's like, I hate this game. World at War, I thought was my favorite game.
World at War was actually challenging. It had a good story.
Then you did Modern Warfare 2. Okay. Not really a big deal.
Still modern.
What the weird part was, there was that supposed like huge twist at the end. You're like, okay, and then you
which to me was kind of like I kind of called it halfway through.
Yeah, that's what I was like too. And then the third game comes out, and then it was just like spoilers for people who haven't played Modern Warfare 2.
Is alive.
No, the main guy Soap dies.
Oh yeah, of
and
course.
you're like, okay,
because then you play as the other guy. That everyone wants to play as.
So you know what? Call of Duty has just been rehashing the same thing over and over again. The only reason why you probably don't like BioShock is because their multiplayer isn't the same as Call of Duty, which guess what? Call of Duty, every time a Call of Duty game comes out, you know what everyone does? They play multiplayer and they go, oh, wait, this sucks compared to last time. And everyone goes back to the previous version.
Until it catches up.
Until it catches up. So you know what? Okay, again, Christopher Pitcher, go fuck yourself. You're my new bitch now. You know what? I used to hate Michael Bay, but now I hate you because you can't compare. That would be me going like, oh, man, Legend of Zelda is too much like...
God, Wind Waker and like Call of Duty are so alike.
Yeah,
they just copied each other.
They just copied each other, man, with Tingles and everything.
Everything, man.
So yeah, that is a big shock. That's the big
BioShock.
What is this?
Yeah, nothing.
No, the next one coming out. It's kind of like
Zelda.
Zelda.
Oculus Rift. I don't know if you heard about this. Oculus Rift is basically that new headset that they're trying to make. It's like a virtual reality thing.
We were actually supposed to have Josh come on and show us that.
So what is cool about it is like what someone just did, and we'll post the video. It's pretty cool. This company called Vicon Games has made a 3D version of the first Zelda.
Oh.
So when you have to like find the guy with the sword, you go down and it's like facing you. Like instead of the guy being a top-down view, the guy's like, "Don't go it alone. Take this," and you have the sword.
Yeah.
And as you're running around, like the octos and everything are right at you. It's all 3D. It's all pixelated. It was still beta because there was a part where he went to go to like the store underground and it said like not available at this time. Like it just was like a pixel. But it was really fun. Like it looked like he was running around doing stuff. Now, obviously, the guy was an idiot and didn't know how to play the game because there's parts where he's like, "Why is it beeping?" It's like you know that beep if you've ever played the Zelda game. So I was kind of a little bit like taken aback by that because this guy had no clue. Like he never played Zelda the first time. So for any nostalgic
Plus,
fans,
he's taking like fucking forever just to get to the stupid.
Yeah, he reads the thing. He does this and like so once the game.
I don't care. Show me.
Yeah, like once the game.
So now
gets...
the game's starting up. I'm seeing it. Okay, you can see all your stuff at top. It's kind of cool. Yeah, the whole thing is like kind of like a Minecraft.
Exactly. That's kind of what they're saying about it. It's similar to that, and then what's
wow, look at that. He goes into there. There's the guy looking at it. It's dangerous to go alone. Take this. Yeah, we'll post this when this.
And then there's another video too where somebody else took another game that you could actually download right now called Megaman 8-Bit Deathmatch V version 3. And basically it's the same kind of premise, but imagine you got the Megaman blaster. And it's just like you can run around shooting like your friends, and they are just like Top Man and Guts Man, and they all come at you, and it looks pretty fun and like it looks pretty intense, but it uses the same feature with the Oculus.
Yeah,
where you'll be running around into the 3D world trying to shoot at things. So we'll post both those videos.
Yeah, speaking of which, Josh, he was going to come on, I think either this week or next week. He was actually had a pair of the Oculus. We're going to find out, but I have some. I want to put this out here because I just found out. So him and another buddy of mine, Zach, both had a show last night. They play in a band. They've been practicing forever and stuff like that. So they go to the Salient Inn to have their show, and somebody decided to break into Josh's car and steal all of his equipment. So he lost his computer, he lost a lot of his band stuff. So I'm just all like, so this happened in Tempe. So if you see anybody trying to pawn any of this kind of stuff, report it, because they did do a police report and stuff like that. But I just think it's just bullshit, because I'm like, these guys are good. Like they're a really good band. I've heard them play music before and stuff like that. I haven't heard any of their new stuff, which I was really excited to hear. And then this kind of crap happens. It just kind of pisses me off that this kind of crap happens to good people. So
well, it seems like this week there's been a trend. There was a friend, Aaron Gallo from Starfleet, had his phone stolen at school.
Phone stolen too.
We had the gentleman who, Eric Berry, just got back from the toy fair and his car was hit. His car was parked and someone just hit it and ran. You got this friend of yours, Josh, with his car getting beaten into. And then I have people trying to steal my brain all the time. That's why I wear this tinfoil hat. Like, I don't get it. Like, what the hell is going on?
Kyle, no one's
Toby?
trying to steal your brain.
Toby's trying to steal my brain right now.
He's not even here.
Wait, you mean to tell me that this cat does not exist?
I'm addicted to this now. I want this game. I want to play this game. This is such a cool idea.
Concept. Yeah, and I think it's pretty neat because people are saying like it'll be cool when you're fighting boss fights and stuff too, because you'll have that bow and arrow like this. Then you have to use it. And what's really cool is if you like it, Oculus Rift. There's a guy who's developed it, but for Skyrim. So now you're like this, and like if you want to use magic, you have to put your hand out. If you have a weapon, you have to actually swing and stuff, and it picks it up.
If you think about it, which is kind of funny. Now I think it was back in I want to say the early '90s. Virtual reality.
Yeah.
There was virtual reality, which was a huge thing, and I remember that. Actually, it was Incredible Universe that's now Fry's Electronics had a virtual thing now. Now, if you think about it, we're kind of going back to that point where we're putting on the goggles again. We're trying to do.
We want to be more immersive.
We're doing like motion capture now, like we're doing like with all the Kinects and the cameras and the motion thing. It's kind of funny that it's kind of funny. Fashion seems to turn around. I would say every 10 years. Like we go back to something that was like 10 years ago.
Yeah, was it Ultimate Electronics or was it? Was it something else called the Ultimate Universe or something?
Maybe Universe I forget.
Something like that. I'm trying to find the image because I remember because it was stupid. It was like you and another player
and a dragon.
You had a dragon flying around. You had a gun and you could shoot like these little like pea things. So it was weird. I remember that game. I remember that too because that was the one game that I could beat Ryan at. And I remember he got pissed because I actually killed him in that game.
Yeah.
But it was pretty fun. Like I like the idea because then like all of a sudden you're moving and like you start actually like really walking because you get the sensation that you're actually moving in a game. So. I always thought that was I always thought like, that's the wave of the future, man, wave of the future. And then like we retract back to console games. because it was just so much easier. It was more easier to develop and get out because the technology hadn't caught up with like the cost per ratio. Like you would have to have that entire system to even just move in a game, and like now they're coming up with a visor.
I mean, Josh is showing me like videos of the optical and stuff like that. So it's just kind of strange that like we're kind of going back to this thing, and it took us almost like 20 years to go back to kind of like compatible. This virtual reality thing. But
what's really funny too is if you look at people, there's a guy who posted a video a while back, and I have to find it, where he's using Google Glass, but he's acting like it's virtual reality.
And
he's like going up to people, like touching their face, being like, it feels so real. And you just see people look, I mean, he's recording it the whole time. So you see just people like looking at him like, what the fuck? Like they're not sure if he's like, some of them even ask him like, are you blind?
Yeah.
Because like the way he's like acting, he's just like, whoa, look at the water. He like starts splashing his face. He's like, it's so real. And some guys that walks by is like, don't drink that. You know, like it's just like, it was really funny how they did it.
That's funny. I found this story and I thought it was weird. I had no idea there was actually like trying to get the lowest score possible in Super Mario Brothers.
Yeah.
So apparently the score with a longtime readers may be remembering a case, not entirely sure, but who beat Super Mario with a final score of just 600 points.
Oh, nice.
Due to the parts of the sequence necessary Goombas, it had to take 3 years, but he finally beat the record and minimal possible score of 500 points. Now.
Oh, nice. So he's lowered it. Lowered the bar.
So he lowered it by like 100. But yeah, so I had no idea that there was like such a way to actually.
Well, you figure you break a block here, you do this, you do that. Like the points add up, so you like imagine how difficult it would be to try and get to the end of the game without scoring like a lot of points.
Yeah, which is kind of funny because before you'd always be trying to get the highest score. You want to get the highest score as possible, but now it's like it would be kind of tricky just not to get like so many.
Yeah.
There's actually some gameplay throughs I've actually seen of people playing Legend of Zelda without getting the sword.
Oh, really?
Like the very first and trying to play it through that, which I think is like, how do you do that? But then again, if you think about it, if you're able to get money and all that kind of stuff, you could buy all the other weapons you need to buy and just use that throughout the game. But
that is true. But then again, like, the sword is kind of like the main, your brunt of the thing. I mean, it shoots lasers. Like, why wouldn't you want that sword?
But you shoots fucking laser beams. That's such a piece of crap sword, is it now?
Oh, eat it for doing all that murder.
Eat it. You deserve it after committing murder. If you have no idea what we're talking about, definitely check out Legend of Neil. That's so great. This was actually from Topless Robot. This is like 9 things we would like to see in the next Assassin's Creed game. Number 9, let's go to Japan already.
Oh, that'd be cool.
I've been talking about that forever, and I say make it a female assassin.
Yeah, exactly.
They've been so much in talks where they were saying that Desmond and another person of that bloodline would have to get together to make a perfect assassin again.
Yeah.
Like that. So I was like, well, let's get into this other female assassin's perspective. Let's get into her mindset. And which is funny because there's actually that one that came out, the Assassin's Creed, I think, Liberty, which is you play as a female assassin, but the guy who the person that it's persona, he's a male. So like he gets the thing that's his ancestor. So you could still have a male character with a female ancestor, but I say, go to Japan and make it. They actually did a short story with that where a female actually came to Ezio and she was from Japan and she wanted to be taught the way. And I'm like, go ahead and do that. I'm like, this is your guys' universe. You go ahead and do it. I would love to see an Assassin's Creed in Japan. I think that would be fantastic. This one says, take a page from Watch Dogs. Assassin's Creed was a success with Prince of Persia, taking the series joyfully, running action, layering, and stuff like that. So I guess they're thinking like, maybe add some elements from the Watchdog. Maybe you create like panics throughout the street, to get your target or so on and so forth, which if we're ever going to see that Watchdog game.
Yeah. And I agree too, because like you could think about it, like all the elements that they've had, like the one aspect I liked about Assassin's Creed is the history portion of it, is the fact that like throughout the ages they've done all this stuff. I think a lot of people are more hopeful that they want to see the future, like they want to see present day. Like that, I think was kind of like the idea. As my understanding was that you go into the past to learn all these techniques, so then by the time you get to the present, you have all these like things at your disposal to become a better like assassin and like a modern day assassin. And obviously this is like a futuristic world that they're all living in, so I thought like that was the whole point of it. So I'm not sure if they're ever going to get there, but I heard there was supposed to be a tie-in with Watch Dogs with that, like how Watch Dogs is kind of set more in the future, like it's kind of dealing with that as well, with like the Templars and stuff. So we'll see if it actually is a tie-in or not.
The next one they want to see, like, they understand that they create a big world and you want to explore it, but they're like, let your assassin run free, let you explore, let you do a bunch of different stuff, not just be limited to, certain amounts of things that you can and cannot do. So number 6 is never have another eavesdrop mission. I highly agree. Those were cool in the first one. They got really repetitive in number 3, and it was really hard because you had to follow a certain path to listen to these people. Like, you couldn't just go, like, number 1 was at least like you could go like, oh, I'm gonna go here, I'm gonna go there, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that. This one literally was like, okay, I have to follow this linear path to get to it. Oh, I screwed up, I went the wrong way. Oh, I missed the rest of the conference. Oh, I failed this mission.
Yeah, god damn
it. Make it an assassin.
And the most part of it is like halfway through, he's just like, I really want a sandwich. You're like, god damn it, Subway, eat fresh. Like, okay, I get it. Like,
yeah.
And then he turns the corner and then he's like, here's the secret location. And you're like, wait, what? Because you're too busy, like, I tried to, what sandwich was it? Is that part of the mission?
Oh, this one is like, my assassin, my way, being able to create what your assassin should look like.
Oh, that would be good, yeah.
Kind of do it, your own thing. One location, clearly defined. I guess another one game, multiplayer assassin. And then I guess the last one they want, get weirder with the DLCs. I guess I haven't played any of the new DLCs from the 4th one, but all the ones that I played for 3, I thought was like, this is shit.
Yeah.
It wasn't really that great. They literally took everything about Assassin's Creed and threw it out the window. It was like, here.
Yeah, like we were to reinvent the whole thing. It's like, you don't need to. It's fine.
It was really weird. So this is what Topless Robot wants for the next Assassin's Creed. I know you haven't really played too many Assassin's Creed.
I played the first one a little bit, and I had trouble with like some of the control schemes just because it was like running up a building and then my character would jump off. And I'd be like, what the hell are you doing? So I got annoying. I have the second one downloaded and installed on the 360 because I have it with Ezio. I have that one, so I'm looking forward to playing it. So far, what I've gotten to is I've gotten to the part where I think everyone's about to be murdered, like all your family members. So I'm not too far into the game. But yeah, spoiler if no one's played it. I mean, a lot of you already have and know it. But yeah, I'm at the part where basically I'm
pretty sure the game's always been out for almost like 5-6 years.
So I've gotten to that point where I met everyone and I'm like, oh, you're all gonna die, because I called it. Like, I'm like, why else would you introduce me to all these wonderful people if not to slaughter them?
I am your brother.
Yeah, exactly.
I am your father. I am your brother.
I think my favorite though is like the games that they do that stuff with is like the one with Dragon Age. First time I played Dragon Age, I made my character look really old. Like I gave him gray hair and a gray beard.
Oh, then you meet your parents.
And they're younger looking than I was, and I was like, wait a minute. Like I thought, like as a game, like what would have been smart is it to kind of see what your choices were, and to then base your parent lineage over that instead of just making like a mass character.
You know what's weird? They should literally do that. They should take a page out of the Grand Theft Auto now. Grand Theft Auto
they give you like ancestry. Or
Grand
whatever.
Theft Auto 5, they gave you your ancestors, what they should look like and stuff like that to make you look like if you did that for your character, I think that would actually be a smart move to do, because if you have your parents, or if your parents are supposed to be in the game at some point, make it look like your character. I think that would be a genius idea, because even with Grand Theft Auto 5, you don't even meet your parents. Like your parents are like, they just said this is your ancestry and stuff like that. But if they were to take a page out of that, I think that would be a smart idea, because then you're kind of like, oh, okay, this makes sense now. This is why. So if you made your character like really old, your parents just like skeletons, like,
or it makes sense, like your parents were killed, like in the Great War, and you were orphaned or whatever. Like that way, at least you could tie it in. Like, okay, well, yeah, obviously I'm so old now that they would be dead. But yeah, I just think it was ironic that here I am, like, and then of course it's like your older brother, Gelsvazad, is like, the champion of fighters. You look at him and it's like, he looks like he's 10. Yeah. Like, who the hell? He's my older brother.
I'm your older brother.
So and then I love it too. My favorite thing about the game though, overall, was just like you're standing there like covered in blood, and they're having conversations with you, like, you can get me this horse for a free nickel, and you're just like drenched in blood. Oh, that was great.
So, before we wrap everything up,
something about Theif.
Yeah, the one last story I found. Theif is using the focus ability for stealth or assault in the new game, I guess. They have a bit of a movie thing. We'll definitely post this up when the show goes up.
Like it's new, but
all the new stuff. Now, Theif was a game. I think they did Theif 1 and Theif 2. Now it was
PC. I remember.
I'm pretty sure it was made just for PC. These games, and they were very famous games. They're very cool games. It was basically kind of like a first. Basically, I would say the game that comes close to it nowadays was probably going to be Dishonored.
Yeah.
Dishonored is kind of like along the same lines with that, which is funny because I was trying to remember the name of the game yesterday, Dishonored, and I couldn't remember for the life of it because I was trying to tell Pat about it, and I was always like, why can't I remember this game? I own this game. I have this game right now. Why can't I remember this game? But yeah, it looks really cool. I like the idea of Theif. I've actually kind of grown accustomed to, as much as I like a third-person kind of game like this, I actually grown a huge custom to like a first-person kind of stealth game and stuff like that, because that's what I liked about Dishonored. That's what I like about Skyrim sometimes, when you get your seeking skills up and things like that. So I've actually drawn a huge custom to this kind of stuff. So this, I know, game is definitely coming out for PC. I believe it's coming out for Xbox One, and it's definitely coming out for PS4. I have a feeling it most likely might not be coming out to Wii U.
Possibly, yeah.
Whether or not it has anything to do with, because I know it has nothing to do with the maturity level anymore, because Nintendo's just actually been pushing those kind of games out now. It's more of if it can actually work on the Wii U,
right,
or if they have to actually work on the controller scheme or whatnot. But I'm like at the point, like, why not bring it out for the Wii U? Don't always have to make it for the gamepad. Just make it for the Pro Controller, because the Pro Controller has every single button that you need that all the other games controllers has. So, but we'll see what happens. This looks like a really fun game. I don't know when it's coming out. They did tease it a little bit last year. Nothing big. This is, I would have to say, probably one of the first 3-minute video they have of this, showing you some gameplay.
And I've seen some trailers of it where like it showed like the earlier stage was like you were having a heist trying to stop like an occult thing, and you end up like lowering down trying to steal like the thing, and something goes wrong, and like so it's dealing with that, but then it's also dealing with like it's definitely dealing with more thievery and like that kind of stuff. So it'll be interesting to see where they go with it. I know it's been in the works forever, and a lot of people have been talking about it, so we will just have to wait and see.
So this will definitely be a game I'll pick up for the next gen console, of course. It should be pretty much fun. So, before we wrap everything up, as I ruin everything, we got the upcoming games coming. So, of course, if you have a PlayStation 4, Infamous Second Son is coming out March 21st. Of course, we have Final Fantasy for the PS4 to be decided, hopefully coming out sometime this year. Destiny for Xbox One, PS4, PC coming out September 14th of 2014. Yiba Ninja Gaiden, am I saying that right?
Yeah, I think that's
Ninja Gaiden is coming out March 3rd, 2014 for the PS3 and the Xbox 360, which is actually kind of funny that they're not even releasing it for the next-gen console. So even if you do have old consoles, you're still making brand-new games. Of course, one of the brand-new games that are also coming out in that time frame is going to be the South Park Stick of Truth, PS3, Xbox 360 on March 4th. We also have the Final Fantasy X and X2, the PS3 Remake HD, that's also coming out for the PS Vita as well. This is going to be released on March 18th of 2014. Watchdog, hopefully, is coming out sometime this year. I'm going to just push it. I'm just going to call it. It's either going to come out in October or it's going to come out in November. Most likely, I have a feeling if they don't have a new Assassin's Creed game coming out this year, this will be the game that comes out in October, because they do not want to compete with the stupid bullshit of Call of Duty crap.
Exactly.
Of course, what already has come out is Donkey Kong Tropic Freeze. That was released on February 21st. That was last Friday. So I'll be taking that off the list now, so you don't have to hear about it anymore.
See ya.
Of course, we got Super Smash Bros. 4. Again, they have not picked a name for it. It might just be called Super Smash Bros. They have been introducing a lot of new characters coming out for it. No talks about any storyline yet, which I'm actually kind of like, okay. Are you going to do a storyline, or are you just going to go back to Melee and beating the crap at each other? Which way? I'm either fine. That will be coming out not only for the Wii U, but the 3DS. We have Kingdom Hearts 3 coming out for the Xbox One and the PS4. It keeps saying 2014, but I have a feeling we're probably not going to see this game until probably sometime next year, and probably late next year. Mario Kart 8 Wii U is going to come out in the spring of 2014, so I'm guessing that's either going to be an April or May release for this game, hopefully. Of course, we have Elder Scrolls Online PC. It's coming out for April 4th. It is going to be coming out for Xbox One and PlayStation 4. I don't know when. I'm guaranteed the PC one's going to come out first, and then they'll vary it from that. And then we have the Wolfenstein The New Order, Xbox 360, PS3, PlayStation 4, Xbox One, and the PC is going to be coming out sometime in 2014. And X for the Wii U, that's going to be decided, but it's going to be whatever the name is going to be called. That's the game that Kyle and I keep talking about. That's actually one of the games that I actually will be telling people, this might be the game that you will buy a Wii U for.
Yeah, definitely.
If you don't have a Wii U, this might be the game that you will buy a Wii U for, because it looks fantastic. It looks really good. So that's hopefully is coming out sometime in 2014 as well. Now, we did have our Get Gaming question of the week. Best love story in a game. Shoutouts on episode 71. Now, did anyone answer this, or are we just going to rehash it?
I didn't really get a lot of responses from this one, and I was only using it basically because obviously we were in Valentine's mode, and it was kind of like, what was a good passion?
But it is a good, you know what, let's start kicking it out again this week, because I think there is a lot of good love stories out there, and I would like like to see other people's opinions on this because it's like you could go with the
A
classic.
Boy and His Blob. That's a good love story.
That's a good gay love story.
Exactly.
There's eat the purple jelly bean. I don't want to be a dildo.
Purple
Eat it.
Fucking yeah. Not even just that. I mean, just think about what was it, like a Grand Theft Auto.
You're a pocket pussy.
You had like the girlfriends you could try and pick up. So that's like not really a love story, but you had like the.
Well, you could have a relationship with her, but I mean, there's the classic love stories such as Mario and Princess Peach, Link and Legend of Zelda, but even
Samus and the Metroid.
Actually, that is a
love story.
But then you go into the whole fact of there's all these RPGs with many different love stories, many different layers. I mean, look at what's it called. Final Fantasy VII, you had 2 love stories going on in the entire game. I mean, you could either hook up with Ares or you could hook up with Tifa. So it was just like there was that kind of.
Or you just hit them both before they both die.
Well, only one dies. So.
Oh, they all die after Cloud gets to them.
Kyle, where can they find you?
Find me at Mooney Studios and of course at arcade_bros on the Twitter feed. How about you, Steve? Where can we find you?
You can find me at Stephen Mooney Jr. on Twitter. You can also follow me on Instagram. Check out some of my new art pieces as I slowly put together the ideas and concept art for the new webcomic, which I have not yet decided to name, but it's based on the 4i Radio Network. But you can follow me at S Mooney Jr. Also, don't forget to follow all the other great shows that we're a part of. Also, don't forget to like our web pages as well, such as Arcade Bros, Long Box Cast, Do You Even Brony Bro, Jedi, Sith, and Ewok, Socially Awkward, The Fro Show, all those great stuff, Starfleet Escape. So definitely, if you want to check out more shows, check out www.4iradio.com for more information. And until next time, kiddos, I would say keep on gaming. This has been another fine production of the 4i Radio Network. For more great shows, check out www.4iradio.com. You see the Skyrim, a flute, a flower, jello pudding pop. You're now a pudding cup.
$49.95.
No!